and the three processes through which we pass. First is Shri Gruha Lakshmi. Actually, this is celebrated mostly on the 13th day of the moon, where they say that the housewife has to be given some present. And the best thing she can have is some sort of an utensil. So people give her some utensils. Actually, it's a very, I think, a mutual thing, because if you give an utensil, she's supposed to cook for you. It's a very sweet way of suggesting that you cook something for us. Then the 14th day is very important, because that is the day the goddess, as a power, because it was Kartikeya who killed Narakasura, the devil. And he was one of the worst of them. He could not be killed. So Shiva and Parvati were married for the special purpose to produce this powerful Shakti Putra. He is the son of the Shakti, known as Kartikeya. And he was just born to kill this horrible devil called as Narakasura. And he killed. That is the day, 14th day. It's something like Halloween that day. Because that is the day they open the gates of hell and put all the devils into hell. And that's why that day one has to rest in the morning time as long as possible, so that let all the devils be put in nicely, because some of them might be hanging around still. It's better to allow them to get out. I mean, in the realm that you are, you do not feel much their existence. But if you were in the realm of subconscious area, or collective subconscious, you can see even some of the spirits and also can feel their existence. They see the black spots and all that. So that day is very dangerous. But because Narakasura was killed, people celebrate it. That celebration is expressed next year, next day, which that day is the day of Divali, they say. That is the day they also worship Lakshmi, because they think that that's the day Lakshmi was born on this earth, from the sea, as I told you last time. Then the day of the New Year comes after. Because in India, in the north, that's the time people finish their crops, and they found that day was very good to celebrate the New Year. And that is actually more sort of, we can say, is a social thing in India. We need not use that. Whatever suits us, you can have your own New Year, because in the south, in Maharashtra, they have another New Year, as I told you, where Shalivahana, his dynasty, started another calendar and they celebrate that. So all these things are, nothing is rigid about it. One must know, nothing is rigid. Rigidity comes from ignorance. It's all for you, for your joy and happiness. The whole festival system is for your happiness and not for the happiness of the time or day. It's for you. So it should be adjustable according to your needs and understanding, and also according to your national way you live. There should be no addiction to any particular type of culture or particular type of ideas. It's all for you. All these festivals are for you people, these festivals are there. And when you celebrate them, that's only for your joy and your happiness. And that's how you should celebrate in a way that gives you the greatest amount of happiness. And the festivals, all the festivals of the world, you have to celebrate. The more you are festive, the happier it is. Why miss the chance, you see? So as for Devi, you can celebrate. You can't push yourself in, John. Just move a little this side, I think. Yeah, just move a little. So, as a Sahajavi, you don't belong to any particular caste or community anymore now. You belong to universal caste. Once you start belonging to the universal thing, then you can celebrate all the festivals of all the religions and have the best of it. All the year round you can celebrate all the festivals, know about them. The more you know, the better it is. And have all kinds of sweets, whatever you use, whatever type you use, in whatever areas and countries and cultures. And that's how we have to be more festive. Now, the last day is very important. It's a very universal day, I should say, called as Bhaiyadrija. It's the, or they call it also in Marathi Bhaubij in different names. It's the brothers and sisters day. Now, the brothers and sisters relationship has to be very, very strong. And the purity of that relationship is to be maintained. It is not necessary that you should be born as brothers and sisters. Not necessary. But you are born, because if you are realized souls, you are born as brothers and sisters. So that purity must be maintained in the society of sadhu. Very important. That we should try to develop this situation that brothers and sisters are something very pure. The relationships are very pure. And they should not be at all challenged. It is so much so that even if you call somebody your brother, he is your brother. And the more you develop this relationship, the better your left Vishuddhi will be. Because left Vishuddhi is the relationship with God as a brother or with the goddess as a sister. So, Shri Krishna's sister, as you know, was born to Nand. And Shri Krishna was himself born in a prison. So there was an exchange that day. They had to replace her in his place. And then when Kamsa, the uncle of Krishna, tried to kill that girl, she went into the sky and like a lightning she said that your killer is still living in Gokul. He's still there. So this lightning that we see is representative of that power which we call as Vishnu Maya, is the sisters. If your sisterly feelings towards women are good and strong, your left Vishuddhi will be very good. It has many other qualities. For example, a person who has a very good left Vishuddhi is a very confident person. Not only that, but whatever he says comes out. Even by mistake he says something, it comes true. It's a very powerful center, left Vishuddhi is. Such a person, whenever he'll speak, to say criticize something, or to cut down something, or to be against something, then it has the power to crash all that he doesn't want. See, like, you can say, Christ, his left Vishuddhi is expressed through his relationship with Mari Magdalene. When he stood up and said that those who have not committed any sin can stone her. So this is his power. The sin of the people just crushed them completely. They finished because the sin was there, and the sin was of left vision. There was no purity. And when there is no purity, a person who is so pure says such a thing. All these people lost their powers. They couldn't even stone. Now, this sister of his was born later on as Draupadi, and that too very near the place we have been to Vani, where we saw. Can you remember when we were going to Nagpur? Near Vani, she was born, that place, and there is a very big temple of that. She was called as Draupadi, and you know how Sri Krishna tried to save her chastity. Now, people, I've heard, are trying also to say things against Mari Magdalene and against Christ and all kinds of things. You see, this is a sign of the decadence of our brains and our morality, that we cannot see purity in any relationship. We cannot see any purity in any relationship. So we as Sahajogis have to develop more of it. Instead of that, what I find, that people, especially try to think whom we are going to marry home. These relationships are established. These are wrong. There is no need to go on organizing marriages and playing these games of romance and all that. If marriage has to take place, it will take place. But don't spoil the atmosphere. There are some people who are just like barbers who try to organize marriages, you see, and take a great pride in arranging marriages with this one to that one and that one to that one. It's not a desirable thing. One should not do it. There's no virtue in these things, is to organize marriages all the time. When the marriage time comes, it takes place. Now at the time of Muhammad Sahib, a big question arose because there were very few ladies, very few men and many ladies of all age groups. And they didn't know what to do, how to save these girls, because so many men died in the war. So then they asked what to do now at this juncture. I mean, a position when such a catastrophe is there and so many women are there and very few men, then he said, all right, you can marry 4 or 5 wives. And you can marry any age group, because if you have to live with dharma, means marriage, means collective sanction, not without marriage. So he said, all right, you can even marry 5 times, but you must marry. Without marriage you cannot live. And that is why he was particular that every person should be married and should have no relationship without marriage. Was sin. Instead of that, now Muslims think that it is their right to marry 5 persons. I mean, when the men are more and women are less. Is that wrong? You have to find out a solution. And at that time, the relationship between even the sisters and brothers, he had to delimit, because there was a big problem. So he said, all right, the daughter, the children born of the same parents cannot, but cousins could not. That time. Now that time is changed. Alright. It's not that time. We are not on war. There's nothing happening like that. There's no such problem. So let us develop now our pure relationship of brothers and sisters. Actually, first time when we had this Diwali function, I asked people to find one sister for yourself. Every gentleman must have one sister. To find out one. And then that is the day I said, let us start this day. That next time when we meet on another day called as, that's a Purnima, Rakhi Purnima, that you tie the Rakhi in the hand, the same brothers and sisters. In India also we did like that, and it worked very well. So, but there the relationships are so strong. Once Dhumar, you see, I think tied it to Raulbai. And now even if I say something to Raulbai, he doesn't like. It's to that extent. It's so sweet, you know. And even Dhumar's wife respects Raulbai as an elder sister, you see. It's very sweet. Like that many relationships are established. And next year I think Raulbai became the sister of one of our trustees who is no more there. And she always carried on all that relationship. And they also, I mean, imagine, the whole thing is that that relationship is so special, so close, and so pure. And such a relationship one should develop with a lady, any woman, or any friend you want to have. And one should remember that it cannot cross a certain limit. There has to have a maryada. Otherwise they become brothers and sisters and then they marry. It's not possible. So we have to have the boundaries. That is very important. In Sahaja Yoga we have to have maryadas and boundaries. And one of them is this, that once you call somebody a brother or a sister, it's absolutely pure relationship. Little further we'll go with that, and that the relationship with the, as I had told you before, that with your, say, a husband's younger brothers is just like that. They are like your younger brothers, all of them. Husbands, younger brothers, or younger Sahajogis than your husband are. The other way around is for all the ladies, we can say all the men, their wives, elderly wives are like sister, elder sister. But this relationship is so sweet and gives you a certain amount of understanding how much distance is kept with whom to be free and with whom to have the distance. And this must be maintained in such a beautiful way that this purity is not. We keep pure standards. This is the nourishment of Sahaja. It's the nourishment of yoga. Purity. Purity is the most important. Purity in every way. If you are pure, you will not do anything that is fake. That is, we can say, that is not pure. So first of all, you will be pure yourself, and you will accept purity. You will appreciate purity. You will stand by purity. Any impurity you will not collaborate with or try to compromise with. That's why purity is your mother's name. You know that my name is purity. And this purity is such that it pures everything. It just purifies. The purity should be such that it should purify. Otherwise that purity has no meaning. For example, a soap purifies, alright? But you don't purify the soap. Do you clean the soap? I mean, some crazy people might be. I know some people who even wash the tap and also the water. And that's why this water, which is the purifier. Water is the purifier. Water purifies us physically. And also our poisons are driven out of our liver also by water. Water is a very great element in removing all problems. You use water for so many things, you know how you do that. So this Lakshmi, which is purification, was born out of water. That's why she was called as Mary, as I told you. And I am also called as Meera, meaning born out of water. So one has to understand that today's message is that we inculcate purity. We should not cheat ourselves. It's really easy to cheat, but we should inculcate purity within ourselves as a matter of our own achievement. as our own decoration, as our own beauty, and not just because it's a laborious thing or it is a very hard thing, not like that. It should be achieved with great pleasure and happiness. How do we like to have a bath and to be clean and to be presentable? In the same way, we should try to clean our thoughts. Just by paying attention to them, we can clean. Thoughts must be made clean. First of all, why have thoughts at all? But even if you have clean and pure thoughts, even if you have to have, don't have thoughts full of arrogance, aggression or of fear. Some people think that if you have thoughts of fear, it's a very good thing. Oh, I am frightened, I am afraid. It's simple. Why should you be afraid? That means you're left with this kind. There's no need to have any fear of any kind. No need to have any fear of any kind. If you have to have fear, that means there's something wrong with you. If you believe that God is above all, you are a realized soul, and that God is going to look after you, that He is your Father, and that He has opened His gates to you, what is there to be afraid of? Many people think that way, that if you have the fear, you are humble. Humility is different from a frightened person. It's absolutely a different thing. It has nothing to do with humility. So, to be humble is different, and to be frightened is different. For Sahajogis, it is very easy to find out through their vibratory awareness what is fear and what is humility. Because humility will give you vibration and fear will catch all your left side. So, our purification of our mind comes through certain methods of understanding ourselves. First of the understanding one has to have that we are born in a family, born in a society, born in a so-called religious sect of God. So all these fixations have put into us certain amount of impurities, which may give us ego, superego, anything it might be. So to keep it pure and simple is take to water element as much as you can. It helps both ways. It helps ego, it helps spirit. Take to water it. And that is what Lakshmi is. Lakshmi is the one that gives you the Mahalakshmi Tattva. From the Lakshmi only the Mahalakshmi's principle comes in. And this is after the purification through the Lakshmi process. Christ has said, if you want, I can give you gold bar. You can live with it. But those who love me will only enter into the kingdom of God. And I will eat with them. Means those who are pure only I will eat with them. I will not eat with people who are impure. So, all the incarnations are aware that they have to be with the pure people and they have to help the pure people. But he so clearly said it, that if you want Lakshmi, you can have it. That's money. But that's not Mahalakshmi. So from Lakshmi to Mahalakshmi state. You have already got your realization, you do not know how much you have got it already. You are already having the Mahalakshmi principle. And what is the Mahalakshmi principle? That's the point. Can I ask this question? What is the Mahalakshmi principle within you?
Desire for the spirit. Desire to look to the spirit.
No, but you have a power. You have got Mahalakshmi's power today, you don't know that.
Pleasure it gives you.
The fun?
The pleasure it gives you.
The pleasure?
Yes.
It's the power of giving realization.
Go ahead, still. You should know. Pleasure is not a power. Pleasure is what you are enjoying. But if you have a power of Mahalakshmi.
Sustaining power?
What's it?
It's just the sustaining power.
That's no power.
The power of studying the Bible.
Power means, yes, you have that power to do something.
Redemption.
The power to spread Sahaja Yoga.
Huh?
The power to spread Sahaja Yoga.
That's the other way. Particular one.
Give realization.
To evolve, Mother.
Huh?
To evolve.
Was it?
To evolve.
But to evolve is your own. Power is what you do to others. The whole thing I told you just now is to purify. You have the power to purify. How do you purify? By purifying them. Alright? Now just think how you purify others. By talking to others, you can purify them. By touching others, you can purify them. By looking at them, you can purify them. One person who is a realized soul purifies the whole atmosphere. The atmosphere is purified. Since I have come, it has been warm enough. You purify everything. You purify this light. Do you notice that? You awaken the light. Now what other powers you have?
Where's Kundalini? Where's Kundalini?
That's the way. Kundalini is many powers, many powers. You purify yourself. Others and yourself. Or some more powers are there. Now come here. Let's have it. You all have those powers and you are not aware of them. This is the best part of it. Confidence now. Now, let's have it.
The power to arrange time to suit your mother.
Okay.
The power to arrange
Power over time.
Yeah?
Suit you.
Arranging time to suit yourself.
That's not the power of Mahalakshmi. That's another one I tell you. Who does that?
Balance.
Huh?
Balance. To keep the equilibrium of ego power.
What is it?
So it gives a balance between ego and superego.
No, that's true. That is one of them. But that is Guru power. That is the Guru's power. Balance comes from Guru. You see, Mahalakshmi is water. So now you tell.
Cleanse.
That's done now. One cleansing is done. Now what else water does?
Quench the thirst.
Huh?
To satisfy.
Now coming to the thought. It quenches the thirst, the spiritual thirst. You can quench the spiritual thirst of people. Tremendous power. Because when you do realization, right? The seeking is over. Alright? Then another one. Now come along. What are the powers? Think of the water. Nourishment. Nourish. You give spiritual nourishment to people through your power. Even if you are standing there, you are nourishing others. then it's a solvent. You dissolve their ego, you dissolve their suffering. All these powers are your own now after realization. Just think of it. What else?
Divinity.
Huh?
Divinity. Divinity.
But that's very vague, because divinity is how to relate it with what people won't understand. So let us put it the other way around. What is it?
To cool down emotions.
What?
To cool down emotions and consciousness.
You become a cool down. Very good. Very good. You become cool. Cool personality. You have a cooling effect. Very good. What else?
You can carry others.
Huh?
You can carry others.
With you. You can very gently and also drown some of them. Drown into the love, into the ocean. Alright? But you can also push them with 2 running jumps, alright? That also can be done. It has another very great quality, that water permeates into the smallest particle. It goes to the roots and it's sucked through the roots. So Mahalakshmi power, you just see the roots of a person, you just know where the problem comes from. Jump to it. Actually it is the awareness, it's the intelligence, it's the suck, the truth part of it, which gets enlightened. And you understand that now where is the problem, and you just go near the root and you are sucked through. You can be easily sucked through. You permeate. You see, when you are sitting near a person and you tell me, Mother, this is catching at the back, the person doesn't know. You have permeated. Your personality is permeated into that person. He doesn't know. You are permeated into that person. And you are feeling the roots. Where is the problem? The water is flowing into that being. The divine water is flowing into that being. And the obstruction is sent through that divine water. And you can say that this is catching, that is catching. So the permeating. And the another one is the glistening of the water. Water is glistening. So your skin starts glistening. Your skin becomes very radiant. And the last of all is the reflection. A person who sees you, sees his own reflection, he gets frightened. With me it happens sometimes. And I don't mean anything bad to anyone, but people are unnecessarily frightened of me because they see their reflection. So when they meet you, they see their reflection, they can be very aggressive because they see their reflection. They can be very hard on you because you see their reflection. And if it is clear-cut water, then you see the depth of the person. If you are clear-cut Sahajogis, they feel the depth, clean, and they can see through the spirit shine. These are the qualities of water within us. The more of that, I would say, especially in my body, the water acts as a buffer to protect the chakras. If I don't have water in the body, then I may have problem. So it acts as a buffer. Also it suits your epithelial cells, you can say, it suits your linings. You see, if there's no moisture, you feel all these sinus troubles and all that. It suits everything. And there are other types of powers of water which we know of, that when it comes out of your eyes, it expresses your compassion, your love, your emotion. That's the only thing out of all the elements which expresses emotion. Water power, I mean. Water has other qualities also, which physics people know, hydrostatics. It has the pressure. It has a pressure. And a person who exists like a Sahajogi will definitely put a pressure on others. He will not aggress, but there will be a pressure and pressure. And another person, if he receives it, then he gets the advantage of it. But if he does not receive it, then he feels pressurized and he feels a little bit dominated. Your neighbors, your family people, in the beginning will feel, oh, there's a pressure because the body achieves a kind of a weight. And that's how the Guru Tattva is formed out of it. And if there is salt, that's Guru principle, then the weight is even more. So today, for water, we know that water is a very holy thing, and in our pujas also we use. Especially this thing signifies the Kundalini. That means the Kundalini is the water jar or the carrier, the Aquarius. And this is the age of the Aquarius. So how important is water? And the water is the carrier of divine love. It's the best carrier. And this is the time of the Aquarius, means the Kundalini is made of divine water. So the whole idea of celebrating today, the Lakshmi Day, is to understand that in us she has become a Mahalakshmi. And by that we have so many powers, of which we are not aware. I mean, we do not know also that we are realized. Some of us do not know. And that we have those powers within us, that we can permeate into others. We can project our personality to others. We can find out what's wrong with them. We can find out about ourselves. We can go into ourselves. We can go into our permeation is like water, is flowing all the time. And this is a very important thing, that we should be aware of our powers that we have achieved. Then we start respecting ourselves. Then the Raja Lakshmi comes in, and then the Graha Lakshmi comes in, and everything comes with it when we become aware of what we have achieved, of our self-esteem, of our dignity. So this gives us dignity. Mahalakshmi gives us dignity. And that's how we start understanding the value of human dignity. We should have also the idea of human dignity, that we cannot insult human dignity. Like people go on nagging others all the time. It's against devotee. Or all the time asserting themselves about something, making everybody's life miserable, is against human dignity. You have to decorate another's life. You have to make it beautiful. You have to make it enjoyable and happy. Make everyone happy, not to nag all the time. If you nag, that's not a Graha Lakshmi. That's not a Graha Lakshmi. You should not nag. Do this, do that, stand up, what are you doing, stand this side, go move that side. It's only nonsense. You please the person to do it. Human dignity is the most important. Must respect the human dignity. And that's possible because now you have got the Mahalakshmi power. Those who do not have dignity also will get it from you, because you are dignified now. If you have sense of dignity, you will never insult others' dignity. But small things we insult, like why did you put the soap here, why did you do this, why did you do that. And the other side could be that others have no dignity, so they go on doing things just like animals. Both things are wrong. But one must respect, and respect brings the best results I have seen. That's the best results. Once you respect and love, then the trust is grown, and one wants to keep the trust. And that's how the human dignity improves everywhere. We have to respect everybody because we are all saints. Respect it. Absolutely respect. You are all saints. I don't know if you realize what I am saying. Each one of you is capable of giving realization to the whole world. Each one of you. And if we realize, then we must respect ourselves and respect others. Should not talk frivolously about others, make fun. And especially your mother. You can't take liberties with her. That is something one has to know. In the West is important. This is very important. That one has to know about it. The other day I was correcting somebody. So Hugo said that you are a very lucky person that mother is correcting you. You are very lucky that she is correcting you and telling you something. Because you are naive, you see, and that's why you start taking liberties. But first of all, you must respect the dignity of your mother. That's very important. And that gives you the greatest dignity. I'm telling you this because unless and until you do that, your growth cannot come up with. So that is a very important point. And like in India, supposing somebody is going to a temple, or they come to, now for example today she has come or somebody has come, they'll wear a nice dress. You see, you are going to a temple and all the ornaments they'll wear, everything they'll wear. That is the day they have to present all their dignity. So one should not come with disheveled hair or things like that. That's not a good thing. Because all these things are important. How you respect, how you have to be dressed, how you have to be presentable. Because these things, some people say that, oh, we live on spirit. I'm tidy because we live on spirit. Spirit is the most tidy thing. It tidies everything, you see, it tidies everything. It goes into proper synthesis, proper concord, a complete, beautiful music is created out of that. How can a chaotic person be called a spiritual man? Cannot. Anybody who is chaotic, whose house is chaotic, whose things are chaotic, must know there is something brutish in that person. Absolutely. But you should not be the other way around, that so meticulous that you eat others' heads. That's another side. So both things should not be there. And I go on insisting on this point because it's very important for ego-oriented people. Because they can become anything. The other day I was going on the King's Road and I was surprised what sort of dresses people are wearing. And they think that whatever we wear, we are. That means you must be monkeys if you wear such dresses and go about. If you believe in that, then you should be decent people. There should be decorum. So, today we have learnt about Lakshmi's growth into Mahalakshmi. But it is not that when you grow into something, the rest of it is finished. It's not so. That some people think that we have become a spiritual personality now, Lakshmi Tattva is not there. It's not true. You have to be a decent person, properly dressed according to your status in life, the way you live. And there should be no, hypocrisy about it. No hypocrisy. By doing any nonsensical thing, like some people think becoming primitive or anything, you will impress others. You will never impress. It's beggars thing. By doing beggary, you will get some beggars bhoot simply. So we are not to be beggars, neither we have to be sort of dandies, but we are Sahajogis, dignified people. We have our own sense of dignity and we live with our own dignity. And that's how we should be. Pure, transparent, honest. Within ourselves we should be honest, absolutely honest. Water is so honest to itself. You put anything into the water, it will show. Put any color, it will show. Put any mud, it will show. You have to be so honest with yourself. And the whole thing should work out to be a personality which is very congenial, beautiful, permeating, no doubt, but very beautifully enlightening. Because Mahalakshmi Tattva itself is enlightenment in our awareness. Such a person cannot be an idiot. If there is an idiot, He is not a surgeon. Definitely is not. An idiotic person cannot be a surgeon. Yet absent-minded. All that has to go away. If you have to be surgeon, you cannot be, oh, I know, and all that of nonsense is not, should not be. The lakshanas, or what you call the symptoms, or you can say the, what can you say, lakshana, is the way you can make out a surgeon. Should be like the Lakshmi Putra, the son of Lakshmi, like a king. That doesn't mean that he has everything to himself, no. That doesn't mean that. King gives. He's generous, known by him. King is not known by how much he grabs, does he? He's a king when he gives. He's giving. Then he should be cool personality. He should not be frozen, he should be cool personality. Not hot temper. Those who have hot temper, I've seen people, you see, here, they first take to violence. I mean, violence is something is out of question for surgeries. No question. If somebody beats you also, you are not to beat them. We have ways of beating them. But you are not to beat them back. You are not to resist them. But if you are a surgeon, you have no business to be violent to anyone. Even with your tongue. Some people are more with the tongue provocative. You must know that you must correct all these points. It's important. Because tomorrow you are going to show to the world what Sahaj Yoga is, not me. So we have to dedicate ourselves to our purification, to our glorification, because water glorifies, gives you glory. You are all looking so nice and glistening on your face, and I can see the Kanti Rupena Samsita. He said that, Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu, Kanti Rupena, the glisten on the face, the light on. And that is there, I see in you all. It has already come. But it should be inside also. And that the person who is a realized soul, one doesn't have to vow for it. People just know who is a realized. You don't have to tell anyone, people just know the way he is. So many points we have covered today. I hope you will again listen to them, because see, Mataji's lecture goes from one ear and comes out from the other. Thank God we have a way of localizing it. I hope you people will take these tapes and listen to them every day, one by one, and also act, not planning in the paper or in the ear, but it should go in the heart. That's how you are all going to mature. Beautiful children. I'm just counting now. Again, CP will be elected for 4 years. And then I have to go. There's hardly 3 years it will pass away. And I won't be able to work so much in UK. The responsibility is such a lot on you people. I hope we'll celebrate some more Diwalis together. May God bless you.
Mother, may I ask you a question?
Yes, yes, please.
We are often told not to resist violence, and that's all right when someone's being violent to you. But what about someone being violent to someone else? What do you do then?
What's it?
If someone is being violent to someone else, what does one do then? Does one stand by and allow it, or what does one do?
Give them a bandhan. We have our ways of combating this. Give them a bandhan. Give them a bandhan like this. Raise their kundalini.
Thank you. It's always been worried to me. It's all right for me, you know, I can put up with it, but what about a child or something?
What's the joke?
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah, thank you.
Let them fight. What can you do? Let them decide among themselves.
What about the military service in a developed country, Mother?
What?
He's asking about military service.
That's stupid thing you have to do. Because you are born in a stupid country like that. This was your own stupid decision. That you took that. Certain stupidities you have to do according to the country. In India also we have to do certain stupidities. But not this kind, but another type. So, if you are born in a stupid country like France, you better do it. Another Switzerland has got this. Nobody has attacked this Switzerland so far. You see, but still they are having this military thing. Because they are robbing people of their money and having those banks. So they have to show they have a military to protect the money.
We have an alternative. We can write to the government and for philosophical.
No, better give them up on that. No use fighting. Again melting. Beat them with shoes. Your government is changing now.
Yes.
Much change.
Well, we'll see.
Much better now.
Maybe. Yes.
Much more sensible.
Yes.
Alright?
Alright.
Now, pray for other government. It's all working out. Good. All these stupid things are around. What to do? How do you to go now for military service?
I have You can have a civil service if you like also. You can ask for it.
I would suggest one thing. Even if you have to do military service or anything, they are not killing anyone there. You are just a mockery. It's like a drama. So no harm. Do your meditation, do everything. This is no seriousness about it. It's all mockery going on. Take some holiday. You people take it so seriously. You are not going for war. There will be no war anymore. Let them do all the mockery. Any other question? Huh? It has steadied down quite a lot, I think. The water power is rising behind your backs. Now, so now should we have Pujja? Now today, as Pujja, we must inculcate your Mahalakshmi Tantra. All those powers must be substantiated. That's why this puja is done. Right? I've already explained to you what is Mahalakshmi principle is. And all these powers must be a reason in you. No. Is it permanent? Or big nails, 2 nails now? There must be Mahalakshmi Sutra somewhere. I can't understand English.
Om Tvam Mahalakshmi Hare Om Haranya Varnam.
Yes. Got it. Indian full wash. No, today. How many are new people today who have not done the puja? Let's see how many. Must be many. Susan, you are not done? You are not done. All right, then come along. I think you all have to come forward. I will make it stick on. It's a full thing. Now, you keep somebody there handy who knows all the things. Ram, okay, you can handle the things, you know all that. Keep that thali here. So the one who has to read is different from one who has to do. Now who can do? Chaya Tumala. Graham and Chaya can manage, I think. Yes, I'm sorry.